nerds and other followers of this video log series. I'm Will Lowen and I'm the blogger at thirdway.ca. I've been enjoying following the series and appreciated the comments that Michael made about telling stories in community and the value that they have in our faith stories. And I also enjoyed and appreciated Alan's comments about telling martyr stories in and outside of the Anabaptist community. So I thought I would share a story that sort of counts, but maybe not quite. A long time ago, there was a young man in Cape Breton here in Canada on the East Coast. He had a calling to the mission field, he thought, and so he gathered up some money and found his way to the Korean Peninsula, where he felt called to be. In Korea, he started working within a small community. And unlike other Western missionaries, he lived within the community with local people, speaking the local language, eating the local food, and also wearing the local clothing. Because of his community approach, he earned a lot of respect within his community in South Korea. But one of the problems that he encountered was that there was a growing resentment in the Korean Peninsula towards the Western influence that had been coming in a variety of forms. Especially towards Christian missionaries. And so his name was William Mackenzie, and he had been warned by the members of his community that there were these roving mobs as part of this rebellion. And so he decided that he would accept a gun from them to protect himself. When the roving mob came, then he was prepared to defend himself, but he decided against it. He marched out to the mob that was coming, and while he was in front of them, he took apart his gun. The group that were coming, they saw this, were utterly confused, and it doesn't really seem that they picked up on his intended message, that his was not a message of violence and retribution and even self-defense, but it was one of love and peace. Instead, they wrote him off as someone that was certainly not dangerous to them or anybody else, and so they let him go. William Mackenzie didn't die as a martyr, but he did die as a young man, but his legacy is incomplete for other reasons. His story, I believe, is unfinished, partly because he lies buried in what is now North Korea. And the community where he worked, the church that he built, no longer operates as a church in that country. But I believe that God is waiting to redeem the crap out of that story, as Ebony said. And so, while this is a martyr story in some ways from the past, outside of the Anabaptist community, outside of North America, I also believe that this is a story that is full of the potential of redemption, and it's a reminder of my own capacity for redemption and a challenge to live that out. So I would love to hear more of these stories, whether it's recent or whether it's historical, more stories of Anabaptist martyrs outside of the Anabaptist community, and how those stories continue to unfold and inspire you. Thanks for following.